Hello, my dear listeners and viewers. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show, your one stop destination for career tips, study abroad insights, and life skills. And today's episode is extra special because we are diving deep into the world of media and journalism, a field that has been shaping opinions, breaking news, and transforming societies for decades. If you've ever dreamt of being a journalist, anchoring the news, or managing a media empire, this episode is tailor made for you. And to guide us through this fascinating world, we have a very, very special guest. Someone who has spent nearly 3 decades at the forefront of media and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Varun Kohli, the Chief Operating Officer at the Times News broadcast business. He is a name synonymous with transformation and success. With a stellar track record of launching, relaunching, and turning media ventures into profitable brands, he is fondly known as the turnaround man in the industry, having held leadership positions in renowned organizations like Network 18, Bennett Coleman and Company, HT Media, and Amar Ujala Prakashan. He's no stranger to steering media giants to a greater heights. But Varun's expertise goes far beyond just media. He's also been driving force in sports management, having played a pivotal role in the success of the Pro Wrestling League and the Big Bout Boxing League. His diverse background, hands on approach, and solution based mindset have made him an inspiration for anyone who dreams of excelling in media, journalism, or leadership. So grab your notepads because today we are not just having a conversation, we are about to experience a masterclass in media, journalism, and leadership. So, without further ado, let's invite Mr. Varun Kohli.
Hi,
Yeah,
Kapeel.
hi Varun.
Thanks for having me here. It's pleasure being with you after a long, long time.
Yes, same here. I'm going back to the memory lane. I'm sure you remember you have always been my captain in the cricket team, my classmate, and spent so many years together. And today we are here in a new role, I would say. But yes, so fondly remembered our journey. And today I have invited you to help the teenagers through your experience. And I'm sure everyone is looking forward to this.
Sure, would love to share my experience and viewpoints on the industry that I represent.
Thank you. Thank you, Varun. And without wasting any more of your time, I'm know you are a busy person. So let's get started. That because I've seen you for so long and you've had such an illustrious career in media. Can you share what first inspired you to enter this dynamic field and how did you get started?
Okay. So, as you know, our school has brought us to where we are. We might have not been cracking IITs and IIMs, but we have cracked the world. Is how I look at it. So when I was doing, and I was too much into dramatics, into plays and all, and it's a part of media process for me that way. And during the course of my doing undergraduation, I was always fascinated by media stickers, which was ahead of the cars, right? Stating some brand other than that time it was only print. I'm talking way back 93. So somewhere down the line it stuck in my mind, and I said, why not I try this career? But as luck would be, as soon as we finished my graduation, Indian Express opened a job for graduates, and they said
Okay.
that they are wanting fresh graduates to come and apply apart from various other things. And we, because of the debates and all that we have done all throughout our lives, right, I went for the interview and cracked it very fast. And then I thought that I am the most arrived guy till I landed in the job, because uh, I didn't have a product to sell. right? I had a dream to sell because newspaper, I mean, we are just telling an advertiser, and I was a sales guy. So when I was being inducted, I was told that this is the newspaper and you have to sell space. So I said, how do I sell space? Because it was a new job for me, and we were the
Mm.
brash guys who had just come out of college with a lot of thought process, and we thought that we have arrived into something. And then I was told that there is no product to be given to the advertiser. He has to just be told that probably you will get some response which helps you to grow in sales. And that was it. That's where reality bit you. But knowing with the penchant, and I give a lot of credit to my school, which brought us where we are, I said, I'm going to give it a shot, right? And that is how my journey became. And then I realized the other side of media, which was just not having a sticker or telling the world and your relatives saying, oh, wow, you are in a media guy.
Right, right, right. So true. So that is actually a very interesting way to begin a career. And you know, media is often described as the fourth pillar of democracy, right? In your experience, what makes this feel so impactful? And what role can young journalists play in this shaping of society?
So uh, I'll put it in a very, very different form. I mean, say, India, everybody has a fundamental right to speak. Some will bash media, some will agree media, but you can't ignore media. And for me,
Right.
media is anything today from a WhatsApp to a broadcast to a digital to any podcast that you're talking. This is a part of media. I'll put it a very sound system of how we do. The recent example is war. Ultimately, people wanted to come back to broadcast, and we had great responsible journalism with us, right? we
Right.
were we were
Right.
talking of national interest first. Our entire media organizations were talking of war against terrorism. We never used the word war against Pakistan, but India is so obsessed with
Yes.
Pakistan that they thought that we will go and capture and come back, and get Pakistan back to us. That was not the entire intent. The intent
Yes.
was that the guys who had done the massacre in Pahalgam need to be punished, right? And the
Definitely.
perpetrators were sitting across the border, and that is how media becomes very important in trying to give information and also build national pride, right? And that is why I can
So
see which
true.
is there. Second example which I remember is COVID. I mean, say COVID, our job was just not to report how COVID cases are and all. I mean, we helped all media guys, I can tell you, humanity won. Got people jobs, medicines, doctors, you name the things from X to Y to Z.
Right.
We were all there for
Right.
when you know ourselves how active we were then.
Yes.
So
Yes.
media did, and plus that was the only people who were coming every day to office. And you remember the second phase was bad in Delhi, right? So
Yeah.
we
It's
have gone through
very,
all
very
that.
bad.
See, every profession can be viewed from a microscope which a particular person wants to see. But without media, nothing works. Today, I close down my news channels. Half of the people will go to probably a digital site, right? And a lot of times, the fake news is taking over everything. So people still don't know which to believe and which not to. So the
Right.
Israel
Right.
war pictures, if you remember, were emerging in this war, where it was nothing to do when people coming back to us.
Yes.
So trust me, more than working with our editorial guys and building news, my half of the job was people asking me, is this video true or not? So we
Right.
have gone into a chaos of news and information. So which news and which information to believe has to be with us, and we have to decide that. And that is a viewer discussion which we always put forward across whenever we are talking, both in our digital space and in our broadcast space.
Mm. So true. Very rightly said. Because when this basically this news about the war on terrorism was being broadcast on news channels, or I would say in the newspapers, but we definitely needed to stay away from those reels and some so-called YouTube channels which was just trying to create some sensation, some rhetoric, right? And just playing with the emotions of the people. So it
Yes.
was obviously better that we should stick to the responsible news channels and the print media, because at least we'll get the correct information,
Yeah.
that too in a very, very right and objective manner.
And Kapil,
So I
today war,
agree with.
yeah, and today war is not one. basis how what is your military might. War is won
Right.
with people working together with the government. Things are
Definitely.
changing.
Definitely.
People are changing. The right information, people coming together. I mean, that is all about one nation, to a large extent.
Yes. Right. No, that is very understandable because the Pahalgam attack was actually it people were hurt actually,
Yeah,
right? And obviously everyone wanted kind of revenge or the government to take some action and in a very very speedy manner. But see, emotions are something different and strategy is different, and everybody needs to understand,
yeah.
right? So the strategic decisions aren't taken emotionally, and
Agreed.
that's what the government did, and the media supported the government, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. No, we were all together. I'm saying that's about national
Yes.
pride. And media guys
Yes.
have to be responsible, and we all were responsible. And so
Hmm.
was majority of the Indian population.
Yes.
Expectations aside, they were all raring to go. I mean, look at what happened in Chandigarh, a volunteer mass movement, and there were people in queues like anything. So I'm saying
Hmm.
there's a way of looking at things uh, in this scenario. So I said media played a big role during this time.
Definitely. 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 And moving further, you are popularly known as a turnaround man, right? So, what strategies or philosophies have helped you transform underperforming media brands into profitable ventures? Because
So
I
see,
know you as a turnaround cricket captain, but now you are a turnaround media man.
so I'll put it very clearly, which cricket taught us, right? It's 11 people who work together. One alone guy cannot make a team, right? So you have to get the right people, get them on the right job, make them do the right thing. That is the most essential thing. Secondly, giving them all the responsibility and importance on delivery is equally important. Today, what happens is that it's not only about sitting with a particular person who's working with you and telling him, oh, do this task. It is about understanding where his strengths are, understanding where the weaknesses are, which can be taken care of, spending time with that person, understanding it, and then giving them a career path. A motivated guy will help you grow, but a demotivated guy will make you go down like anything. So choosing right people will become very important in any organizations. So organizations which you have seen have gone down are only because their manpower beyond a point was not up to the mark. All other things can be taken care because we are in people's business at the end of the day. So that is one part which is there. Secondly, getting organization, different departments working in a synergy to achieve the organization objectives is the most important thing, because human
Right.
egos and human expectations have to be matched. So once
Right.
people's roles are clear, they are matching together, they're working as a team. No organization, how small or big, will ever go down. So I'm saying
Yes.
these are basic things which sports taught us. I mean, I might
Yes.
be a great batsman, but I alone cannot make runs. I need a person at the other side also. So
Right.
that is the difference. And I'm going to fail one day also in one of the matches. So that is what we took across with us.
Mm.
I have been very plain and simple in any organization that I've been working. I work with the people. I am known as a people's manager. I want to sit with them. And when you hear their areas of concern, half the battle is won.
Yes.
It's like, why do you go to an A doctor and not to a B doctor? The A
Mm.
doc medicine is the same for any of the things. The other doctor listens to you and half your problem gets over.
Yes. Yes. Rightly said. And I'm sure, you know, my main audience is the teenagers or the career aspirants. And I remember the days when I used to watch news on Doordarshan. And today, it's been a huge transformation, right? Even the news readers today are like so smart, so energetic, you know, eh, all together at a different level. So now even you know, the aspirants seem to feel that okay, this is news and glamour, right? So because the presentation is done in such a beautiful way nowadays, and thanks to technology also. So for talking about the students who consider journalism as a career, what essential skills should they focus on developing to excel in this field and with regard to the present times?
So I'll put it that if you think that you'll get famous in one day and you think anchors are the only media guys, then you're mistaken. If you don't have an art on a bench on how to look at editorial, how to talk of story on stories, when you talk of people in sales, how to sell a medium, right? It requires a lot of hard work, and you need to have
Right.
the capacity in you to go for the grind, right? If you
Hmm.
think that you'll get overnight success, I don't think that is going to happen. Audiovisual medium, yes, the presentation is very important because that's where it is audio plus visual. If the visual is not appealing, no viewer is going to see at you, right? Okay. And but the immediate is why is one journalist respected more than the other one? It is how the person is well read and how the person brings stories on stories which reaches out to the viewer. Ultimately, today's viewer is demanding. If you say anything wrong, he is going to check it. And you pass and fail every minute on the social platform, right? So
Right.
I'm saying
Right.
today it's a more evolved audience, and their hunger to have news delivery is changing. They want to be seen in and understanding in the right way, and they cannot be taken for granted. The problem
Hmm.
is some of the anchors just go through the same grind or not having the grind and not running it well and then just delivering. So that will never happen. So you have to be well read. You need to understand whatever beat you have in terms of that. And more importantly, you have to not be a journalist who just takes out things from internet and then talks. You have to be on the ground. You have to go extra mile. You have to build your sources. You have to build the story. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't do that right, and that is why you see a lot of people are failing in this industry.
Right. Right. No, but I can definitely understand. See, like in a movie, we say the actors are more famous, right? But there's a whole team who actually puts everything in place, and the similarly is with the basically media house, right? There are many people. There are some few faces that are in the front, but there are many people who are working in the background who make that thing actually possible in the right way. So, what do you have to say about all those people? Who are those people basically?
So these are unsung heroes like editors, the producers, the graphic guys, right, who make this entire touch and feel very good, right? It is whole lot of people who go for one show. The anchor is the one who's only presenting it, but our anchors work on desk two, which is the editorial desk. So while they will be doing some shows they will be writing also. Because when you
Okay.
start writing, you understand the subject more better. So, contrary to the perception that you land and next day you become one big personality, will not happen. Plus, competition is huge, and today your biggest competitor is not news channel but remote. If the guy doesn't like you, he will flip through you. So,
Right.
how can you make the person stay with you is all about how you present things than just read things. So I'll name you an example. Our 9 o'clock show, Pathshala, has been doing very, very well because
Right.
Sushant has been one guy who delivers on a different tangent and people resonate with him. And day in and day out, I know the kind of hard work he puts for 5, 5, 6, 6 hours for a 1 hour show, right? This is just in front of us. Before that also is very prepared that what subjects to go. So there is a lot of hard work. Plus it is not only him, it is his team together which delivers to a large extent, right? So
Right.
that's the difference between how you see media and how actually people work. So
Right.
it's a
Right.
complete teamwork, and trust me, it is a tough world to be in because there's so much of noise of information. You really don't know how to you will break free and how do you reach out to your potential viewers, whoever wants to listen to you.
No, very, very true. Because I've seen Pathshala a number of times, and the way Sushant speaks, it's so relatable to people. And when he says, "Na, boss, देखो मोदी ने क्या कर दिया," right? So that's the way he basically converses with people. And over the years, if I say, there was print media so famous because there was a time when TV sets were not available in all the homes. Now, of course, we have as many TV sets, as many rooms in the house. But now there is a shift from the TV sets to the digital media, the digital platforms. So, what advice would you give to young professionals navigating this ever evolving landscape?
So see, if anybody wants to be a sales professional or a journalist and all, they have to be sane any particular media vehicle, which can be a TV, a print, or digital, whatever you say. So it's not glamorous that way, right? You have to understand how first is where your heart belongs to and why do you want to be in the industry. If you are only wanting to be in fame, like a lot of people have started becoming YouTubers because they've seen success of you. People have not realized how many people have failed now, right?
Right.
So don't go by what people say, go by what your heart says. That is one. I've been around 19 years in print. Now I'm in television and digital. We work together. No newspaper has closed down, contrary to the perception. Newspapers have found their own way of running their
Yeah.
business, right? TV has not closed down. They have found their own way of running the business. And digital is coexisting. But digital, if you see the major revenue, is between the two giants, which is Google and Facebook, who are not digital because they're not publishers. They are
Right.
platforms, right?
Yes.
So one has to see how you want, where you belong to be. I personally feel sooner or later a lot of these things will mix together, right? Print, television, digital will find their own ways of collaborating together, right? But I don't think news and sports will ever go out of broadcast because people still want to see it on the big screen. So
Hmm.
today, the norms of reels have come in, but that will also go down sooner or later. And I can name you hundred of sites or apps we were so good, and today they're not in business.
Right.
So that's
Right.
also one of the things. And news channels being there are there. Of course, they will be.
Yes.
They have to relook at their models. We are evolving our models. Our mixes have changed. If you remember, in Hindi news channels, when I was in a different organization, Saz Bahu became the biggest talk from 2 to 4 p.m. Today, that is not running anymore, right? I mean, the Bollywood stories or Bollywood promotions used to be the rule. Today, we don't do it beyond a point. Sports also,
Hmm.
a lot of people still do it. A lot of channels are not doing sports now because at the end of the day sports is real time basis, right? And people get it. So efficacy wise, of course, there are a lot of stories which we broke and digital took after that, or digital takes and then we break. But it is the analysis which is why what people come to you for.
Right. Right.
so
Right.
so I'm saying the whole platforms are evolving, and you will see a lot of change in the coming few years, especially in the media industry.
No, frankly speaking, see, though I do read newspaper on a website or watch it sometimes on the YouTube, but still my first love is the newspaper in the morning, right? My
With a
morning
cup of
ritual
tea.
doesn't get completed. Yes, with a cup of tea along with my wife. So that's a morning ritual, and until and unless I'm not able to completely read it, the day will not begin.
Yeah.
So that has been a habit for so since childhood, and I'm happy it's still continuing. So I know the newspapers will never be out of business because there are people who are reading it every day, and it's part and parcel of their life.
Yeah.
Right, right.
You're
And
right.
if I
You're
talk, yeah,
100% right. And more than that, even uh, television, digital, they're all interlinked. I mean, if
yes,
you talk of my news feeds which go live, is out of my television also, right? There's some
yes,
content we
yes,
create for digital viewers, but a lot of content is from broadcast also. So
yes,
I'm
yes,
saying there will be a lot of changes you will see in the coming few years in terms of businesses getting changed to suit the need of the
yes.
new consumer.
Bilkul. Right, right. Agreed on that. And if I ask you, see, you have managed both the legacy brands and startups. So, how does managing a well established media house differs from launching or leading a challenging brand?
So when you're launching a new brand, then you build the culture. then you build how you want to do. But there is a lot of pressures. There's a lot of pressure on how to deliver the right product. Plus, it's a crowded industry. How do you break the clutter? So that has its own challenges, right? Which I mean, I have launched around uh, 3 or 4 brands, right, in the television space now, with various companies, and I'm sure the challenges have been dynamic on them. But legacy brands, to uphold the legacy values that they have, and also changing a little for the new informed viewer, is a tough task. Also, making people who are sitting there and making them get more evolved to the changing needs within the organization is a very tough ask, right? So I will feel that a legacy brand handling is more tougher than handling a new brand, because at the new brand, I mean, there's a lot of chips and churns that you can do, and you can fail also on some things. In legacy brands, anything going wrong, your entire 10 years, 20 years of legacy goes for a toss. So you have to be very careful in terms of brand
Okay.
imagery, in terms of being responsible. So that's that they have their own challenges, but that's fun. I mean, if there's no challenge, it's like if there's no achar in the diet that we have, we're not going to enjoy food beyond a point. Every day we can't have the dal chawal all throughout. So
कुछ
they
चटपटा
have
होना
their own
चाहिए.
pluses and minuses, but both the places, the strategies have to be different.
Right, right, right. Agreed. But see, you are one person who has worked extensively in operations and, of course, in different areas of management. So, what insights can you share about the business side of running a media organization?
So when you talk of broadcast, right? We most of our channels are free to air. So ultimately, it's the advertising that you depend on, right? Okay. So
Right,
the so at the end of the day, you have to see what is your advertiser looking at, because in news, your advertiser is your viewer too, right? Okay. You
right.
don't compromise on any edit, come what may. When you don't compromise, people value you, right? Okay.
Hmm.
Plus, the business side, the most important thing is you have to see what is the cost and what is the earning, the same way as running a house. I'm saying whatever income you are generating, I'm saying that's how you should look at cost getting over from your house, right? So it's a mix and match. You have to say, and with technology becoming a great leveler, you get a lot of things at low cost. Earlier there was OB vans all throughout. Today we don't need an OB van. Today mobile can shoot anything and it can go on air. That's the quality of cameras that is there. So technology has helped us control costs to a large extent. Distribution becomes a great play area in terms of the major costs going, and manpower. But manpower is not cost but investment. So you get the right manpower, they will deliver it for you. So management philosophy is the same as running your own house. You know? You have to see how to get profitable at the end of the day. And profits will only come when each and every guy knows what his job is. So it's a complete teamwork which is there, and everybody delivering right, not only on say delivering their numbers, but also like you're moving from one room to another. Close your lights, that saves cost. So small efforts, if people work, and it only happens when a guy feels he belongs to the company, then he will go extra and give you ideas which you have never thought. During COVID period in my previous organization, the best ideas came from youngsters, and we encouraged that and we implemented it. I mean, and that is the need of the hour, because the new guys are born on a digital era, right? And they're very fast and quick. Only thing is, if they can give great ideas, which helps the organization transform, they're going to grow much faster.
Right. Very true. Very true. See, but see, this media house actually works, I would say, 24 by 7, right? And it is not always in the coziness or in the, you can say, AC rooms. Much of the is field work also. And once again, it's not one person, but the whole team moving around in and outside. And at even the most hostile of places. So obviously there are many challenges, day-to-day challenges, which the media professionals actually, experience. So as for a aspiring person who wants to join this industry, what would you like to share about the biggest challenges of such media professionals, and how do they actually tackle them, so that their or we can say about the work life balance they are able to maintain. So what is that kind of life?
So I'll name the few. The war started at 2:30 at night, and all your media guys were there in the office at 2:30, and
Right, right.
consecutively for days they were all in office, right? So
Yes, yes.
you have to be prepared. You have to be mentally very strong. Today, if you are reporting, say, a tsunami, and you have to be there. There are a lot of risks, but you have to be there to report, right? So you have to have that, what I call in Hindi, jazba. If you don't have that
Yes.
towards getting into this field, will not serve any purpose to you. And plus, you have to slog out. When you go out, you meet people. It's a people's business. You touch people's life. There are media stories where we have touched people and gave them a lot of justice which they never got. So I'm saying media's job is just not to deliver news. It has to also shape up the society. And if we are able to shape the society, we have done a great job. That's why it's called the fourth pillar at the end of the day. So it's not only information, but also creating the right environment, because people believe in their news channels, at the end of the day, or people believe in their print media at the end of the day. But people have to go on the field, whether it is sales, marketing, or journalism, or anywhere, if you want to reap success, because gone are those days where only a team's call can get you money. That doesn't happen
Right.
today.
That is. Mm. But then, how will a student prepare for himself for that? Because
So
usually, what happens is he's looking for safe options and all. So, how to basically prepare ourselves for such challenges?
So see, it comes from within, Kapil. I'm saying anybody who wants to be journalist, right? Trust me, 99% of the guys, apart from people wanting to be YouTubers, right? They want to go on field. Even YouTube, the content has to be on the field at the end of the day.
Right.
And it has to be a differentiated content, right? But the guys who want to get into this, that is the youngsters that I see, they have a fair large heart and they know what they're into, right? And they want
Okay.
to slog. That's why they're there. And that is how those people choose this medium. So earlier, whenever I used to go and meet and go to any media schools and talk, majority people wanted to be anchors. Now gone are those days. There are guys who want to be expert cameramen too. They want to be on the technical side. They want to create shows, because producers' power is big, at the end of the day. Only thing is, people didn't have that much of knowledge earlier. Today, thanks to the digital era, everybody can search about anything, that what is required and all. So largely, it is whether you want to be in this industry for what. If it is only for fame, then it is not the industry to be in. But if you are
Right.
really wanting to make a difference, you want to create something different, then you should be in this industry.
Right. Right. So true. And you actually contributed to sports management also, which is actually another exciting field.
Yeah.
Now, could you share insights on how sports and media intersect and what opportunities exist for students interested in this niche?
So sporting leagues are becoming the big profit centers now, right? Okay. I mean, that today people want to come on ground and experience the euphoria, whether it was wrestling that we did, boxing we did, or we did major other events that we're doing. Sports for me is a part of entertainment, right? Today IPL is what? It is replacing movies. So it's a 3 hour con- entertainment content where people go enjoy, or people watch on television and enjoy it. And it's a fast buck sport that they are in. So sporting leagues, I believe, will grow and grow big time, and especially non-cricket leagues also, because there is a market for everything. Today, a badminton league is coming in, wrestling league, any which is there. I mean, said today, pickleball will come. You name the sports, and everybody will have their leagues, because there is a hunger for people to get into entertainment of a different sort, which is minus movies also. So that is where, if there is an audience for a particular sport, then 100% it will grow, and ultimately it become financially viable. In our times, cricket never used to pay money. Today, an IPL
Right.
star makes huge amount of money. So I'm saying,
Definitely.
when
So true.
first the sports develops, stars are built, and then the money comes in the sport.
Right, right, right. So true. And see, it's been a very, very interesting conversation. I'm sure even the students are enjoying it and getting the right kind of insights. But still, and I want to talk more, but won't take much of your time. So one last question for that, that for students, listening today who are just starting their career journeys, what would be your top three pieces of advice for succeeding in media, journalism, or any field they choose? What would you like to suggest
So
to them?
they don't need to go by what peer group is doing or what anybody is telling them. They have to go deep inside and see what where do they belong to. That is one. Because we often get obsessed with the other person's success than understanding whether we are up for it or not. That is. Secondly, do a great pre-preparation for the course you want to get into. Talk to right people, reach out to right people, understand what is required, and do your pre-preparation. For getting into that industry to be successful. So you will be head away over others. And third, most important thing is see what is the kind of knowledge you require, and that knowledge has to be upskilled every now and then. So you remember we started with 286 and 386 as computers. Gone are those days.
Right.
So when they have upskilled themselves, which we why can't we upskill ourselves? So upskilling will be very important. Getting the right skill sets and knowledge is very important for you to keep abreast with the latest trends.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you, Varun. And I'm sure the students would have got the right kind of information, not only about what are the various areas, but what are the struggles, what are the challenges, and how they should be facing them. So, thank you. Thank you for being here, Varun.
Thank you, Kapil, for having me here. It was pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Bilkul getting the old vibes, right? So, thank you. Thank you.
See you.
Wow, what an insightful conversation this has been. Mr. Varun Kohli, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey, your expertise, and your invaluable advice with us today. I'm sure our listeners have taken away not just tips and tricks, but also a deep understanding of what is truly takes to excel in media and the journalism industry. So, to all my dear listeners and viewers, let's take a moment to reflect on something Varun said. Change is constant, and reinvention is the key to staying relevant. So, whether you're dreaming of becoming a journalist, a media manager, or even the next big thing in sports media, the lessons from today's episode are universal. So, if you found value in this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your friends, classmates, and anyone who might benefit from these golden nuggets of wisdom. And don't forget to follow the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, remember your dreams are valid, your passion is your power, and the journey to success begins with a single step. Stay inspired, stay curious, and always keep growing. Thank you.